You're a business owner.
Check.
You have business owner's insurance.
Check.
And 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been enough. Today, small businesses are being targeted and taken down by hackers. Medical offices, consultants, CPAs, any business that's built success has everything to lose. You probably have cybersecurity installed on your computer.
Check.
But you probably don't have cyber insurance. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Cyber Policy covers that gap. Cyberpolicy.com shops the leading cyber insurers to find you the right policy at the right price to avoid a catastrophe. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Get a custom quote today in just 4 minutes. And for a limited time, use the promo code BLOGTALK to get Norton's small business protection for up to 5 devices. Free when you sign up for cyber insurance. Plan, prevent, insure. Visit cyberpolicy.com. That's cyberpolicy.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Altman, and welcome to No BS Hiring Advice Radio. I'm doing a simulcast both on Blog Talk Radio and on YouTube as a Google Hangout. So you can participate in this show in either way. You can listen, you can watch and listen, however it works for you. What I try to do with this show is to speak with some aspect of job hunting, well, not hunting, but the hiring process, staffing, recruiting, finding talent. Because as someone who's been in the search field for more than 40 years, I have a perspective on job hunting that has a lot more depth and texture from the employee's perspective, and as well as from the hiring side as well. I've worked with firms throughout the United States, 49 states out of 50, plus parts of Canada. I've done some European recruiting, but when all is said and done, I have the vantage point of a third-party recruiter. I've never worked in corporate, but I can give you a sense of how you're seen and try to help make it easier. Because to me, hiring doesn't have to be so hard, difficult, painful, or often take so long. It's often that there are systems in place that make the process harder than it needs to be. And I'm going to try and talk with you about techniques to improve your recruiting and sourcing, techniques to streamline your operations at times, a whole host of different things in the course of doing no BS hiring or offering no BS hiring advice. So today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is a service of Amazon where you're able to listen to audiobooks on whatever device you have. And if you'd like to try out the service, go to audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter, and you'll be able to download a free audiobook as part of your trial. My second sponsor is consultingassignments.com. Consultingassignments.com is a site where you can find and fill consulting assignments, full-time consulting positions, temp to perm, and contract to hire opportunities anywhere in the world completely free. Posting a job or a resume is free. Searching jobs and resumes is also free, as is the ability to contact one another. The only thing the site charges for is if you want to feature a job or feature a resume. It's a whopping $10 for 30 days. Think you can swing that one? In addition, if you're going to feature more than one job, they have programs that'll take the cost down to get this one, folks. As little as $2 for 45 days. So again, that site is consultingassignments.com. Now, when I started in recruiting in, I can't believe I'm saying this, 1972, the process was very different than it is now. You try to find a hiring manager or an HR person to work with who'd listen to you. Your goal as a third-party recruiter was to get a phone send-out. By that I mean, instead of mailing a resume, because there was no internet, you weren't faxing resumes then, you were mailing or messengering resumes. You were trying to get the client to listen to you, present someone to them, and agree to meet with them so you could schedule them right then and there. We've now progressed to a whole host of different tools to basically cope with the fact that many recruiters were dishonest. They didn't know how to evaluate people. They said a whole bunch of stuff, and then from there wasted people's times. So I understand the history of my profession and how that's caused some of the new problems that we have today. So today, many of you are working with email. You're receiving resumes through vendor management systems. And again, I'm not talking about through individuals applying. I'm talking about your relationship with third-party recruiters like myself. So today, there's a much more hands-off approach that many firms have taken, whether it's by email, but whether it's given the fact that very few hiring managers are working directly with recruiters in medium to large-sized firms, or the fact that the firm has brought in a vendor management system to basically handle the workflow for them. So the result of implementing a vendor management system on recruiters is to establish a hands-distant relationship. I'm going to say hands-off. It's unfair to say that. But there's a bit of distance between you as an HR professional and me as a recruiter in our working relationship. Why? Now, again, I understand completely why the firm has chosen to do this. It is more efficient from corporate standpoint to have a buffer between you and the recruiter. I got it. But is it really more efficient? And here's where it starts to break down. What I see in my seat is that firms, in establishing this distance, don't really break the divide. And what's happened is they treat many third-party recruiters as little more than sourcing mills or organizations that they don't trust. They don't communicate beyond simply what the system says. And I'll give you an example. There's one service I use from time to time to get access to a particular client. Now, again, that's one of the advantages from my perspective in working with these vendor management systems. That I might have access to an institution I might not have otherwise. But frankly, I'm going to discontinue the service because it's wasting my time way too much given the effort put in. And here's how it does it. So you put up a job description. It's the institutionally approved job description. That's fine. That's our starting point in our working on filling this job. And then from there, from the time the manager starts interviewing until the time the rec is closed, unless you're seeing my people, you're not communicating. Now, you're saying, why should I communicate if I'm not seeing your people? Well, the answer is I'm working on your job. Now, again, I'm operating in this case as a contingency recruiter, not as a retained recruiter. I understand. But can you at least tell me when what you're not liking about the resumes? Too late is not it. I'll give you an example of something that happened today. I meticulously provided information to a firm about how an individual I was submitting fit the requirements. They really did. They said they wanted either someone from bank operations or a lawyer who had done a certain type of work. I provided them with a lawyer who had done this kind of work. He had done it for several years. He was with a decent-sized firm in the town in which they wanted the position filled. He spoke perfectly. He was not a job hopper. He'd been with his organization for many years and decided he wanted to move from a law firm to corporate. Okay. They had laid out that this was an acceptable background. I get a rejection notice emailed to me. Why? They say he doesn't fit the rec. They don't tell me how he doesn't fit the rec. Doesn't fit the rec, even though I demonstrated to them in a message how he fit the rec to a T. a half hour later, I get a note through the system telling me that not to submit any more resumes. They had had enough and they were scheduling interviews. Do you think maybe, just maybe, you might have told me when you provided me with this rec 2 days ago that you were close to filling your slots? No, you didn't decide not to tell me. In addition, in telling me that this person didn't fit, that obviously wasn't the case. I demonstrated how he did. And I'm not talking about exaggeration. I want to be clear. I'm not here to waste people's time. I laid out perfectly exactly what they had spelled out in the job description, and next to it, how long and how recently he had done it. Hadn't done the work they claim. Okay. Vendor management systems often prevent communication. Firms, through their busyness, hide behind them and fail to work closely with recruiters, which is really the big miss in these systems. What's happened is you've created another layer of non-communication. And unfortunately, often what happens is, as job descriptions go, from the time it's been approved institutionally until the time that you're on second interviews, and sometimes beyond, the position description morphs. It changes, it evolves. People get a chance to think about the changes or what they really need as they start to talk to candidates. And then you're not telling us. You're not telling recruiters about the changes. So they're aiming at the wrong target. Whose fault is that? Seriously, whose fault is that? And we're measured by outcomes. We're evaluated by outcomes. And when all is said and done, it's hard to be effective if you're not telling us how to evolve with your needs. I can assure you that recruiters want to do a good job. Whether it's contingency or executive search, we all want to do a good job. And frankly, I work in both manners with clients. And there are a couple of other models I work with, but that's for another time. When all is said and done, third-party recruiters want to do an effective job for clients. We want you to like and respect and appreciate our work. The easiest way to do that is to let us know about the changes. Don't hide behind the curtain, and it is a curtain or a veil that keeps us separate from one another when you're working with some of these systems. For you as an HR professional, I know you can say you have a ton to do, and if I don't like it, I can always drop off. Fine, I'm going to drop off. It's not a problem. But when I'm invited to work with a firm and there's no communication, or the communication is marginal, and I'm not talking about the feedback that I got, I'm talking about how the job description really is. I can't waste my time. It's really the only thing I have to sell along with my knowledge and my capabilities. So I encourage you, I really encourage you, start to communicate with the services that you use through your vendor management system. Find ways through the system to update recruiters. And what you're going to find is much more effective results more quickly. Instead of having preferred agents within the preferred agents, the ones who you actually tell stuff to versus the others that you don't. Again, you can still work through the system to communicate. Just do it. All of us want to work well for you. So, it's my simplest advice. Tell us what you want. This is from there's a comedian named Sam Kinison who used to scream his punchlines, and I won't do that for you tonight, but I'll simply say, tell us what you want and we'll do it. Don't make it any harder than it already is. We're in a tough profession. We want to help. You've asked us to help. Make it easy for us, okay? So that's my advice for this show. I want to encourage you that if you have questions or if you'd like my help with a search, reach out to me. My email address is jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. I'll have it in the show notes as well. So if you want my assistance with filling positions, you can reach out to me that way. And I also want to encourage you to come over to my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us, and go explore it. There's lots of content to help you with staffing, plus you can receive a complimentary subscription to No BS Hiring Advice e-zine, which I publish twice monthly for those of you who are HR professionals, hiring managers, or small business owners to help you make even better staffing decisions. A lot of good content at my website. Go exploring. I want to help you. By the way, if we're not already connected on LinkedIn, send me a connection request. My address is linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. I'll accept a connection request from someone anywhere in the world, except if you look like a spammer to me or if you're a third-party recruiter, then I won't accept it. So this is Jeff Altman. Hope you have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this show. Take care.
Ready to make fashion fireworks? Right now at Old Navy, get up to 60% off the entire store during Old Navy's Red, White, and New sale. Save big with items for $2, $4, $6, and $8, including women's tanks for just $2. And up to 60% off summer essentials like flip-flops, tank tops, swimwear, and shorts. Get more bang for your buck with up to 60% off your favorite all-American styles right now at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Select styles only. Entire store offer valid 6/28 to 7/5. Excludes clearance, gift cards, register lane items, jewelry, today-only deals, two-day-only deals. Ready to make fashion fireworks? Right now at Old Navy, get up to 60% off the entire store during Old Navy's Red, White, and New sale. Save big with items for $2, $4, $6, and $8, including women's tanks for just $2. And up to 60% off summer essentials like flip-flops, tank tops, swimwear, and shorts. Get more bang for your buck with up to 60% off your favorite all-American styles right now at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Select styles only. Entire store offer valid 6/28 to 7/5. Excludes clearance, gift cards, register lane items, jewelry, today-only deals, two-day-only deals.